YouTube. Good morning. Happy Sunday. It is July 23rd, 2023, and I wanted to do a Sunday market analysis for this coming week. As y'all know, my favorite is gold, so I trade gold, but I'm wanting to just see if we can get some biases, and not to run off with the bias, but to just have a clue where the market may be heading for this week. The one thing that I also wanted to bring up is AMC. As y'all know, I started my trading journey in the middle of the AMC GameStop. So I was one of the first diamond hands, is what we called ourselves, when the AMC pump and dump and all the meme stock stuff was going on during COVID. And I still hold a few of those stock today. Not as much as I used to, but I just wanted to bring up that AMC at market close on Friday shot up to about 61%. So for those that are still diamond handing and holding AMC stock and those related to the stock, I believe it was because of a court ruling that a judge made. I'm not going to get into the details of what the court ruling is, but you can go and Google search some of the things that were ruled and why it may have a run up this week, or it may just go back down prior to market open. I'm hoping to do some things with it, so just stay tuned. I'll update y'all on that as well. For this week in the Forex market, back to the focus here, I'm looking at gold. I wanted to start on the daily. One of the things that I noticed with gold is that it is bouncing off of that 200 EMA. Do y'all see it here? So it's respecting. It's hit it 1, 2. There was a double bottom. It shot up, peaked up here, and then started trending back down. We hit it a third time here, and then now we're looking here in this area, which is where it closed the weekend, to see if it's going to break that area and continue up. So I think we're all just watching and waiting on the gold. But let's just go ahead and analyze it the way I typically would. I'll get my bias on the 4-hour like y'all should, and it is on an uptrend, so that's the bias we're going to keep for gold. And I also have a demand zone here. Demand zone, order block, right there. And let's see, there's a little bit of a gap, so I mean, you can deem it high probability or not. But if you see how it wicked out, sorry y'all, I'm trying to drink my coffee at the same time. If you see how it wicked out here, and I'm waiting for a bullish bar to kind of give me a signal that it's going to continue up. Because as we know, gold can be kind of tricky for us. They're traded. But it's kind of like a straightforward thing for me. So I got my 4-hour bias of an uptrend. It is also respecting the 200 EMA. It's not broken that 200 EMA. And for the kicks and grins, let's go ahead and put a fib on this. Okay, putting the Fibonacci on it. It has trended down into the golden magic zone. So I'm going to look for it to go all the way back up and take some profits, probably around, let's draw in our areas of resistance here. Things that hop out at you, like right there. That's already kind of testing that area. And then up here, tend to go up there in that area. It's respecting those areas. And then if it breaks above here, we can look for continuation. So then dropping back down to the 4-hour. These are my little target areas here and that I've drawn in, and those two up there, those are drawn in on the daily. So those would be my target areas. I don't know how y'all trade or whatever, but I mean, everybody has their unique way of trading and their edge in the zone, in the market. So just noting some things. I'm paying attention to this rejection bar on the 4-hour. Waiting for this. Let's drop down to the 1-hour and see if we got any bullish activity. 1 hour, 30-minute. Yeah, still have that rejection. Can look for it to break above this area before, or break above the 200 EMA to see if it's gonna continue up. But until then, I would just kind of wait for your signal, whatever your signal may be. But gold is kind of looking good for me. I can see some trades coming out of that. But it's an uptrend. I'm completely bullish on the gold, USD, and let's move on down to, what do y'all want to do next? GJ. I know a lot of y'all are good on GJ. I marked GJ up earlier yesterday just to kind of get some confluence, and I want to also show y'all some trend channels that I've been kind of testing out to see if they would work for me. When you're doing trend channels, you want to see if you can get as many touches, but you want to put the trend channel on the daily. That's what works for me. So let's try it out on this one. This is GJ for next week. So I'll start the trend channel here to see if I can get as many touches as I possibly can. Sorry, y'all. Okay, trend channel there. And then my touches would be here, there, and there. Kind of look like it's trying to break those areas, but I'm watching it. If you see, it went higher high, higher low, and then it had a long leg, and it's still making the higher highs, higher low, higher highs. But if you can see here on the daily, it reached a level of resistance here, and it broke back down. This could be a retracement to this area, or it could continue up because there's a big bullish bar here. So I'm watching. Dropping down to the 4-hour. It's still trending above, I'm sorry, on the daily as well, the 200 EMA, so I'm looking at that. The 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, like I said, we broke below that trend line channel. And when you're drawing your channels, y'all, you want to try to get as many touches. See, try to touch there, but not necessarily. This is the most recent touch from these two. So it touched 1, 2, 3, and then when the trend kind of started resisting this area, perhaps it could be retracing, or it could be doing what it does, but it's still considered to be an uptrend due to it still trending above the 200 EMA. Dropping down, it looks like there is a long bullish bar. The bearish bar that printed immediately after that wasn't as strong, so we have some bullish action coming up into that area. It broke back into that trend line, so we're just gonna watch and see if this support's gonna hold here. That is an area of support as far as I'm concerned on the 4-hour time frame, and it looks to still be in that uptrend because the support and resistance level that's here, it closed above those areas, and it seems to continue to be continuing up. So what I like to do is get some zones. I don't like a whole lot on my chart, but I do like to throw analyses and stuff out there to see if it'll work. It just depends on how the trend is moving. You can't put a parallel bar on every single thing, just like you can't put a fib on every single thing, because some trends just it just won't fit. So use your better judgment or your experience in the market to, see what you want to use. The more tools you have, the more you have to pull from depending on what you're analyzing. So we have this zone here of consolidation on the lower time frame, even though it's continuing up. You're dropping down to see what type of activity on the lower time frames we're getting. Looks like we closed above this area of resistance after we broke through, and we want to see how it's going to react here at this level at the top of the previous high. And I'm dropping down just to see what I've got. It depends on the volume for tomorrow too as well. As far as the 4-hour, don't really see anything jumping out at me as far as the demand zone, but we do have quite a few demand zones here. If it continues, we can use to, and then there's another one. And it's potentially high probability because there's a gap from here to there on the 4-hour. But like I said, just wait and watch. Get in only if your rules apply, not what I am telling you here, because I trade totally different than most of y'all. And we all should have our own unique way of trading and have an eye for the market for what works for us. So these are all demand zones below there. If it ends up being a double top on the lower time frames, breaks down or retraces back down below those areas, we could start looking at sales. I'll say at anything below the 179.830 here. So for GJ, I'm just watching and waiting, see what kind of volume we get in the morning. You can either, since the bias is still an uptrend, I'm gonna catch it based on how it opens. And when I get up in the morning, I've started trying to get up a little earlier so I'll have more time to analyze and have my coffee and meditate. And I'm telling you y'all, I've read that book, Trading in the Zone, and it has just, man, I read it before when I was a new trader and didn't know much about the market, and then over the last week here, I've kind of went through it again and read it and then played the audio book and stuff. If y'all don't have Trading in the Zone, I advise you to get that book. Read it in the beginning of when you're learning to trade but really don't know much about psychology. But after you've adapted to whatever your strategy is, read it again, because it defines trading, the psychology of trading. It defines it so graphically for me. It kind of have changed my the way I see the market, man. It's just amazing. And because I love trading so much, I found something that I can use to grow who I am as a person, and it also grows who you are as, someone that wants more discipline in their life and wants to get themselves together. Trading will do it for you if you're consistent with it and you're sticking to your plan and, being dedicated. I just can't stress enough the importance of knowledge in trading, because it doesn't only hit trading. This is life lessons that you learn during it. So I want to give you that token of encouragement if y'all can get Trading in the Zone. I also heard through one of the other traders here recently that Outwitting the Devil is a good read as well. I've not gotten that book yet, but if y'all can see fit, or if y'all have read it, please drop down in the comments what you took away from that book. I plan on ordering it this week, but I'm going to do one more, either pair, indice, or you want to look at the the dollar strength, to see how that's going to be this week. Let's look at the dollar strength since we did gold earlier. So the dollar strength on the daily is showing to be in a downtrend. Here we have have it trending on the daily below the 200 moving average, and it was consolidating for a while. If you can see that the trend is going through those patterns and that structure, that is a downtrend. I mean, that is consolidation when you have it that way. So right here touched here, and then it went down, and then it went back up. So this is a double top, went down, double bottom, went up, double top, went down. So if y'all can get used to knowing the patterns in the market, you can pick up on all kinds of trades. When you're new, I say stick to a single strategy, but as you evolve, you'll start seeing things in the market and start picking up on different ways to get into the market, still according to your plan, but you have options. You know, it's like having several cars in the driveway and you get to choose which car you're going to drive that day. That's how having knowledge of the market works. Here, since it's in a downtrend, I'm going to look for supply zones. This is a supply zone with a gap on the daily. So as it's going up, retracing here, you can see these areas that are highlighted green. These are imbalances in the market that it tends to fill. The time on when it fills, it's not always right away. It doesn't always just, sometimes it does now. It doesn't always just go up and hit that area and then come back down. Sometimes we play around and zigzag, and next day or two it fills it, but it's always going to go back and try to fill those imbalances in the market. That's on the daily, so on the dollar. So if you trade dollar, let me know. With the broker I use, I do not trade dollar, but at the same time, the retracement that we see here on the daily, right here, let me highlight it for y'all because I found some pretty easy ways to tell things. So this area here, if you drop down, I'm going to highlight it just to show y'all how the market looks. So I'm going to paint that yellow. So this area here, which is the retracement from the daily, if you drop down to the 4-hour, look at all that area. That is the same area that's retracing, but it gives you a more detailed look into the market on what it's doing. And the lower you drop down on these time frames, the bigger those zones become, because that's a daily time frame you initially marked it up on. It's gonna it's gonna engulf those smaller time frames on a bigger level. So if you're trying to find out what the market's doing, you mark it up on the higher time frame, highlight it, and then you drop down, and it'll let you see in that range or that zone what the market's doing. So let's continue. I'm just teaching you some gold nuggets on just becoming a new trader, becoming familiar with the market and all of that. Just showing you some key things that you probably want to know. Also, since I have a supply zone here, and we had the market shoot down, that's what we like. We're retracing back up, and another supply zone with imbalances is noted. I mean, we got one here on the lower time frames, we got one here, and we got one here. I mean, you can't miss it, y'all. And we even got one here. So I mark up all these areas, not typically as this many on the 4-hour. I usually do it on one. And then when I do my 4-hour, since it's trending down, this is an opportunity for me to put my fib from the start of that to the bottom. So what it did was came down, touched it again, it kind of bounced up again and touched it. We have a double bottom there on the 4-hour, and it's trying to go into my golden zone, but I have a supply zone right before that, so you want to see how it reacts in those areas. Even when you're looking at the smaller time frame, this is the 38, so it may even just, hit those zones and then continue down. But you can get some pretty good trades in on this, y'all. Just use your strategy, follow your rules, get in and get out, and make sure your risk management is on point. That is the key in Forex. So we know that the dollar is going down. So that would mean that gold would do the opposite. So we're looking for gold to continue up. So let's just see what we got coming in the morning. I cannot stress the importance enough. I'm going to do one USD pair. It's probably going to be GU, because I don't even have AU on here anymore. So doing GU, let's do the parallel keep forgetting the name of it. Parallel channel. Okay, so we're going to do the parallel channel like I showed y'all again. You're going to take that, highlight it, and then draw your bottoms here so that it touches. You're not going to get touches everywhere all the time, but then you're going to get the touches here. So on the daily, you created that zone with the parallel channel so that when it breaks those areas, it gives you a heads up. So GU is obviously on an uptrend. It consolidated for a little while. Let's see how the consolidation looks on the lower time frame when I'm telling y'all about it. Okay, that's about where the consolidation is. If I drop down to the 30-minute, where's my yellow? Where's my yellow highlight, y'all? Okay, there we go. So see how it's ranging into those areas, and it's just breaking through and doing what it wants to do in this area especially. It's consolidation. You can draw a box around it and it just shows you that there's consolidation there. And even y'all in consolidation, or what they call ranging, you can get some pretty darn good trades. It depends on the time frame you're on, how many pips you can catch. The bigger the time frame, the more pips you can get if it's ranging, because you just trade it from top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. It's not hard at all. But I mean, my eyes are opened. There's a lot that I did not know a year from now, but just because I'm so passionate about Forex and what I do in Forex, it's made the difference night and day in my trading. So with GU, I'm gonna say the trend is, let me see, I'll get my bias on the 4-hour. I still look at the daily, but trend looks like it's on an uptrend currently, but it doesn't look like it looks like it's one of the uptrends that's on the fence. So if it barely breaks, you see how it touched here and then it went through here. I'd just keep an eye out for GU. But I will tell you, on GU, I have a huge demand zone with a gap right above it. So, I mean, see how it touched here? Man, this would be a really good trade. Touched here, you could hop in there. And I would take it all the way up to about like right there. Move your stop loss up to about, I would probably move my stop loss to about right here before that 200, because I don't want my stop loss too big. And shoot, I'd ride it up. I would ride it up there right at this level here. But yeah, got an uptrend, touch that area, and then it looks like it's trying to work its way back up. But all the points of interest areas, like this is a pretty big one. See how it supports that, and then it hits that. It's a pretty big support area. So I just pay attention to that. The most recent points of interest, of course, is going to always be your focus. But I could see a buy coming out of this. Pretty good buy if the direction continues with the volume that comes in the morning. So that's basically my focus as far as the news, y'all, for tomorrow, Monday. Let's see. Da 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 da. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Okay, so this is what the news is tomorrow. Monday, we got red folder news from 3:15 all the way to 3:30. We got some orange in the morning. We got some orange folder news at 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., 9:45 a.m. So be careful trading tomorrow. There's a lot of red folder news, and then that stuff with AMC. People think that Forex is not relative to stocks, but they're all intertwined some way, because they all, they all have some type of relationship with one another. Even though you're in the Forex market, the New York Stock Exchange does impact some of the things we do. So that is pretty much my analysis, my little pep talk, my little informative video for today. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate everything, and I ask that y'all like, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, I wish you a really, really good trading week. My next video, I'm going to see if I can talk about a new journaling software that I got. I'm not going to promote just yet, but have some things in the works. So I want to go over some journaling stuff with y'all to help you learn how to journal your Forex journey, because that'll actually level you up as well. So make sure if you're not journaling, you journal. You can get some free ways to journal, as well as, they have paid software and websites that you can use to journal as well. It just depends on where you want to go with it. So until next time, y'all, peace.